My name is Jordan Bauer. I'm a self-taught guitar player from Central Missouri. Throughout my 20s, playing music was my passion. From jamming in my mom's basement with my best friends, screaming in a metal band, to harmonizing in an acoustic duo, some of my greatest memories were made playing music. Though that stage of my life is over, the Missouri music scene today is thriving with many unique artists. My musical journey takes a new turn, with a new mission to bring together the audience, artists, and venues, and to reunite with some old friends along the way. Hey, Ruby!
Hey, what's up?
Long time no see.
I know, right?
A lot has changed, hasn't it?
Yeah, that is true. It's been kind of hectic. It's been crazy.
You wouldn't have it any other way, though, would you?
No, I like it just the way it is.
Nice. You know, I was trying to make some notes and prepare, and I was like, I don't even know where to start because I feel, Ruby, like you've lived musical lifetimes since the last time we talked. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And you already accomplished so many things, not just recently, but throughout your life with music. And it's just like you've gone all in and doubled down, and it's just paying off massively.
Yeah, no, I feel very, very blessed, you know. It's pretty crazy. I've already hit, like, I think, yeah, this year I hit 1,000 shows, which is, you tell people that aren't, like, musical don't really get it, but when you tell someone that's, like, a musician, that's a lot, you know. There's a band called America, and they just hit 5,000 shows, and they've been playing for 53 years.
Oh man, 1,000 shows. I mean, we're only in August. I'm sure. Like, do you take time off in the winter because it's harder to travel, or how does that work?
Not really. I mean, I prefer to be going 24/7, honestly. But you know, it just it really depends, honestly, on what's going on. It's nothing that's like a set schedule on when I'm taking a break or when I'm not. I mean, obviously, I'll take a break when I need it, but you know, nothing that I'm forcing myself to do that. So it's been good. It's been at my own pace, so I like it.
I'm glad to hear that. You know, it's definitely a grind, and you don't want to have like a Michael Jackson situation where it's like you're a young person and you're just getting pushed, or you're pushing yourself really hard and you get burned out or whatever. But pressure makes diamonds, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're shining for sure. I'm looking at my page and notes here, and I gotta remind everybody about rubyleeofficial.com. The website is still going strong. It's got all the good tour information and biography on there, of course. I have your Facebook numbers at 103,000 followers, and you're growing so fast that 2 days ago when I started making my notes, it was 102.
Yes.
So I have to like scratch out the number. Like it's crazy. I mean, everything you all are doing is paying off, and I was telling your dad that the social media stuff, it's really hopping. Like I think you guys got it figured out because you're everywhere in my opinion.
Yeah, no, God's definitely blessed me, you know. I mean, I don't even know if it's really something that I'm doing. Obviously you have to put in the work for it. You got to want it, but really it's a mixture. If you want it bad enough, it doesn't even feel like work. So I've just been very blessed with everything that's going on, and especially with gaining all these followers. It's the biggest help that you can do for a musician is to follow them and support them. So it's been very, very amazing.
That you're living your dream of playing music. A lot of people don't get to live their dreams at all. What has been the best part of this whole journey?
Well, there's been I don't know if I could even choose one thing. Every part of it has been pretty amazing in itself. Just being able to do things that I've dreamed of for a really long time, and gain fans and inspire people, especially kids. to give someone something to look up to and something that's good and positive. And um, that's one of my favorites. But I mean, on the terms of things that I've done, I would say, playing the Grand Ole Opry not only once but twice was just the most amazing experience. I got an immediate invite back the same night that I made my debut. Um, I
Yes.
had I had a standing ovation, which was mind blowing. To be invited from the Opry itself, most people are invited from other artists that are playing the Opry, but I got invited from the Opry as a whole, which was just, it's very rare for that to ever happen, because it's usually always an artist inviting someone. And for that to happen, for them to reach out to me and ask if I would want to play is the most mind blowing experience. And here, just a few weeks ago, I got the invite to debut the Ryman Auditorium as well. So that was my second biggest goal, just right up there with the Opry. And now I'm going to be knocking them both off within a year of each other in the same month. Um, so it's going to be very, very exciting. I can't wait for that.
I'm really excited for you, and it doesn't get much better than that. But I'm glad you mentioned that about your goals because I was going to ask you what's next because you've done all these things in the last few years, especially. So, what are your goals for the future?
Well, obviously I'm getting ready to play the Ryman, which was another goal that was second on my list, which was amazing. I think my next goal is I want to be able to play Red Rocks. That's number three. So hopefully I can check that off eventually. Maybe in a year's time. That'd be pretty amazing. But doing the Red Rocks, I'm getting to headline a bunch of festivals this year, which I'm very excited about because that's been another thing that I've wanted to do is to play these festivals and fairs and get into those a little bit more. And I'm finally getting my chance to break out into some of those, and especially touring and doing things like that, getting to travel and see new places. I know right after the Ryman, the next day I'm flying out to New Jersey for a show, and I've never been to New Jersey before. So I'm very excited about that, and I'm headlining a festival in Wisconsin and Arkansas, just a lot of different places that I'm very, very excited about. So it's going to be very, very fun.
I'm so bummed that I haven't got to come out and see you yet because you've been relatively close to me, but I'm still kind of a homebody and I need to really get out of that so I could come see you and hopefully meet you in person.
Exactly. I mean, what are you waiting on?
I don't know. There's no excuse, definitely, especially because I feel like you're very accessible. You meet and greet with the fans and you even eat and greet with the fans. I've seen that online before, and
Yeah.
it's just so cool. And I think it's special to have that kind of connection with the fans to where you don't seem like unreachable to them, if that makes any sense.
Yes, exactly, exactly, and that's why I do it because you know I've had people around the world that came to my Opry debut, and one of my favorite things to do is meet the people that put me where I am. Obviously it took a lot of hard work for myself, but if I didn't have anyone that would be willing to come and see me, I wouldn't have the shows, I wouldn't be able to travel or tour. But I've had people from Germany, Ireland, Scotland, England, um, where Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, Canada. I've had all these people from all these different countries come and see me at my Opry debut and even other shows. And, for them to take that time to come and see me, all these flights and all the money that goes into that, I felt like the least I could do is at least try to, just say thank you in my own way. And that's by doing my meet and greets and eat and greets. They're just a whole lot of fun, and I love getting to get everyone to gather around and get to talk to someone on a one-on-one basis and not just hey, a little quick signing and shoved out of the line. So I really like to do those intimate meet and greets.
That's how they become part of the family.
Yeah, I mean that's what's most important to me. I think my longest meet and greet I ever had was 5.5 hours long. I never put it on a time limit. I always wait until the last person that wants to meet me walks out and
Aw.
gets to meet me. Yeah, so the longest meet and greet I ever had was 5.5 hours after the show, and that was longer than my actual show itself. So, uh, yeah, it was crazy.
That's awesome. Don't ever change because I feel like that's a rare thing for somebody nowadays to do that.
Exactly, and that's how I feel.
So we were talking about the best part of your dream of playing music. What would you change?
Honestly, I don't think I would change anything. I think everything that has happened to me has happened for a reason. I'm very big into thinking, things that don't happen aren't meant to happen, and, I feel like those things were, bigger and better things await, and I feel like they're being saved for the right time, and um, I wouldn't change anything. I'm very thankful with how things ended up for me.
Well, you got me there because when I was writing these questions, I was kind of thinking, I was contradicting myself. I was like, she's been doing this for so long. She probably doesn't know what life would be like without music. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, exactly. I mean, I started doing music at 9.5 years old. It's pretty much been my whole childhood and my whole life that I know. But I take it all one day at a time. Whatever happens is meant to be, and if it doesn't happen, then that's also meant to be as well. So just one day at a time, one step at a time, and eventually all these little pieces of the puzzle connecting together, and you can finally see the big picture. But I've been very very blessed and been able to meet a lot of my heroes. So I mean, I wouldn't change anything.
I love it. See, you hear that a lot about like child stars and really talented kids and stuff. They grow up in the business, whatever the business is, and then they're like, "Oh, I didn't get to have a traditional, school experience and I didn't go to the prom and all this stuff." And they kind of miss certain things like that. And that's what I mean. Like in my head, I was like, "Well, this is what she knows." So she probably doesn't miss anything.
Yeah, I mean, I was homeschooled my whole childhood. I went to school for 6 months, and that was preschool. Um, but I graduated at 16 because I was really getting my work done so I could focus on music. And yeah, so I didn't get to have a prom or any of that stuff, but I wouldn't change anything to go back and do that. Because a lot of the times those aren't really the memories that you keep for the rest of your life. I would much rather remember playing the Grand Ole Opry instead of going to a prom. So
For sure. There is no comparison, definitely. Can you tell me about the Ruby Lee Yodel Like Me challenge? Is that still going on?
yes, it is. It's that's kind of hard to explain. I don't know. It's kind of not many people are able to yodel. There was a lot of people that that reach out and ask me about how to yodel, and then you try to explain it, and then they come back and be like, I couldn't do it. And there's not a lot of people taking the challenge. It's a difficult thing to do. When I tell people it's easy for me, I guess they don't get it. What I'm trying to say is like I've done it for so long that it comes natural. It wasn't anything that I really had to force myself to learn. It wasn't hard. It wasn't difficult. And now, I mean, especially I've had a lot of haters, hate on me for yodeling because it's a dying art. And now you see all these people trying to yodel and dress like me and act like me. And, I feel like that Eminem song, you just might be the next best thing, but not quite me.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like all these people, especially around my hometown and my area, not everyone, but a lot of the musicians, I was made fun of before The Voice for doing country music. I never had people that thought that country music could be a thing in St. Louis, and because it was a rock town, it was a rock and blues area, and this was years before The Voice. I think I was 10 or 11, and I was wearing fringe shirts, and I got laughed at by adults that told me, you're never going to make it singing country music. And I stuck to my guns, and obviously after The Voice, I come back home and see all these people totally switch up. The same people made fun of me wearing fringe and belt buckles and doing country music, and all these honky tonks start opening up. It's like, it's weird, but I'm glad I could kind of start a little bit of a revolution. But at the same time, you know, it's for being laughed at for it. It's kind of weird how people switch up so quickly.
It really is. I think people also they gravitate towards other people who do stick to their guns and they are true to themselves and they don't try to be something that they're not.
Exactly. Hey guys, it's me, Leigh, and you are listening to the Missouri Musicians Then and Now podcast, and I hope you're enjoying what you're listening to, and I hope to catch you very soon.
I have some questions from my family, actually. So I'm going to indulge them. I'll give you a little context. So when we found out about The Voice, of course, we were like, oh my gosh, we are going to watch every episode and see how this goes. And I'm not just saying this because it's convenient, but when we were sitting there and we were watching you and your audition, I literally had chills going up and down my arms and stuff. There was such a feeling watching you perform, especially in that environment, and how well you did. Like, honestly, I'll never forget what that felt like. So, it was amazing. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, my whole family was watching, my wife, Tara, and my boys, and I. So Tara wanted to know, what was it like to work with Reba McEntire?
Well, you know, I mean, I didn't get to work with her that much. You know, on the show, it's kind of fluffed up a little bit. They kind of make it seem like she's there 24/7, but she was not. I really only saw her once before each round, and that was for less than 30 minutes. Really what you saw on TV was how much I got to see her. Just the times we were together. Other than that, it was just singing in front of her, you know, with her in the chairs.
Right.
You know, but it was good. It was a good experience. Like I said, I wouldn't change it. It turned out well, and I'm very happy with how I ended up. I actually have the most viewed audition in the history of the show now, which is pretty crazy.
Yes.
So very, very blessed. But yeah, it was a good experience overall.
Were you nervous to perform with these big names around? I know you've done something similar before, but
honestly, no. I just looked at it as another show, you know, except it was televised, you know, and there were famous people in the crowd. And, you know, that was the only thing is, even them being such big celebrities, it didn't faze me because they're just people, you know. They started off like being you, and, you know, people idolize a lot, and they just like to be treated like a normal human being, you know.
Right.
And, yeah, this is what I wanted to do since I was 9 years old, and I wasn't going to let anything, you know, hinder my experience. So I went ahead and I did my thing, you know, and it was easy. It was a great time, and I had fun with it, you know. So I was not nervous.
I love it. I love the confidence for sure. My boy Joel said, what was it like to perform in front of all those people on The Voice?
Well, honestly, there's not that many people in the crowd. There's probably like 100 people, maybe 150 in the audience.
Wow.
And I performed in front of many people. And so that was not hard. It was honestly kind of fun seeing their reaction. When I was performing, I was looking around, looking at, you know, the audience more than I was even the coaches, you know, and just looking around and seeing their faces and seeing what they thought about it before the coaches, obviously, it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was a fun time for sure. So definitely looking around and seeing everybody, it made it honestly kind of better for me.
That's a pretty raucous crowd for just a few hundred people.
Yeah, exactly.
It comes off pretty well for that small crowd. I think the most people that I played in front of, it was at a chicken wing festival. It was at one of the resorts here in the Lake of the Ozarks area, and I think there was 2,000 people there. They had to get more chairs. Like, people were sitting on the floor eating chicken wings, so it was a great time.
Oh, that's awesome. largest consecutive crowd that I played in front of was with Green Day, and that was in front of 25,000, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Tell me about the Green Day thing. How did that happen?
Well, I was a fan first. I am like the biggest Green Day fan you've ever met. I know way too much about them, almost creepily. But yeah, I went to their show in St. Louis. I had tickets before I was on The Voice. I had tickets while I was on The Voice, and I honestly I was kind of counting down the days for The Voice to be over so I could go to the show.
Yeah.
But when The Voice was over, it was time to go to my Green Day concert. It was my first time seeing them, and I was so excited because they're my favorite rock band of all time. And I went to go see them. I got front row tickets, so I was in the VIP section. I'm right up on the stage, and they come out and they perform the show. And I had a sign that said, "Can I please play Good Riddance with you?" It said, "I'm 17. Can I play Good Riddance with you, please?" And I had the sign. And this is at their St. Louis show, and they come out and they're performing. I started crying when they walked out. All they did was walk out, and I'm already emotional. And I'm holding up my sign, and throughout the night, Billy Joe, the lead singer, he keeps looking at me, and I'm like, I know he's going to call me up. I know he's going to call me up. And it ended up 3 songs before the ending, tour manager runs out and is waving his arms around, and he's like, stop the show, there's a big thunderstorm coming in, you got to shut it down, get him out of here.
Oh.
And Billy was like, can I at least play one more? And they're like, no, we got to go. So I was crushed, and we're standing in the pouring rain, walking back to our car, and I'm crying, and I was so heartbroken, because I just knew I had this overwhelming feeling that he was going to call me up on stage. And obviously that was cut short. And we get in the car, and my mom's like, okay, well, when's their next show? Maybe we can make their next show if they're close by. And we looked, and their next show was in Minnesota. Oh. And they're like, yeah, not that one. And the show right after that one, a week later, was going to be in Kansas City, Kansas. And we're like, there we go. That's not too far. Get tickets for that one. So we bought tickets for that show. 5 days later, we go to see him in Kansas. And I get second row. And I had the same sign that said, can I please play Good Riddance with you? I'm 17. It's along the lines of that. And I'm holding it up. Show starts. Go through the show. And at the end of the set, he comes out with his acoustic guitar and starts playing Good Riddance. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, he's not going to call me up. He's already getting ready to get started, because he was just playing his guitar at that point. He wasn't singing. And I'm like, he's not going to call me up. So I put my sign down, and out of the blue, he's just in the mic, and he goes, you've been holding up that sign all night. And then I didn't even know he was talking to me at first. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, wow. And he goes, what does that say? What does the sign say? And he goes, I'm 17. And I'm like, wait a second. That's me.
Yes.
And then I start jumping up and down, and he reads the sign off, and he said, well, what would you say if I knew how to play Good Riddance too? And I was like, we know you can. Let me play it. And so he called me up on stage, and we played Good Riddance together. And I started singing, because the sign did not say sing, it just said play. And if you watch the video, I start singing, and he starts inching closer to me to hear if I can actually sing or not. And then it ends up that I sing most of the song, because he puts the mic right in front of my face as I'm playing. So that was like such a mind-blowing experience. And I ran into the bass player, Mike, a couple other times after that. He followed me on Instagram, and he gave me his phone number, and he called me, talking about a song that I'm getting ready to release. And he was giving me advice on the song, and it kind of, I feel like you just let yourself forget about how big these things mean to you, when you're in the moment. And I was talking to him on the phone, and then he starts talking about Green Day as a band and how they started and whatnot. And then it totally clicked with me again. I'm like, holy crap, I'm talking to my favorite band right now. I'm talking to a member of my absolute favorite band in just casual conversation, And it's really cool to be able to become friends with people that you look up to, and them ending up being great people, it makes it even better. So that's pretty awesome.
And that says a lot about them for everything that they did, but it says a lot about you as well, because they looked at you like a peer in that in that situation. Not at first to get up and sing the song, which I think is phenomenal that they had no idea who you were, and that ended up happening anyway. The stars aligned for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there was a lot of people that thought that it was already planned, you know, and been like, did Billy already know you were in the crowd or something? I'm like, why would Billy Joe know who I was? You know, it's like, why would I be this big shining star in their crowd? You know, but it was very exciting. We went to go see them get their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame here just a couple months ago, and Mike Dirt recognized me in the crowd and brought me backstage and talked with me back there, and it's crazy to even say that out loud, you know, and let alone let it be real.
Like, pinch me, right?
Exactly.
Wow. That 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 story was way better than I thought it was going to be, not going to lie.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah,
Wow.
I've been very blessed to meet a lot of my heroes. I actually just here a few months ago, I got to hang out with T.G. Shepard and Mo Bandy and Lacey J. Dalton and a lot of other amazing artists. Kelly Lang, T.G.'s wife, and it was crazy because I went up to them to go ask for a picture with T.G. and him and Kelly are sitting there, and he turns around and he goes, "Hey, girl, I already know who you are." And I was like, "What?" And yeah, so he's telling me about how PG follows me and watches what I do, and those things for me are just the most amazing things that could ever happen. You know, if there's someone that I look up to recognize me and look at me not as just some kid who sings, but as an artist. You know, not as just some girl that's up there playing a guitar, but as someone that's actually doing something. That means a lot to me, especially. So that was a very cool moment for me.
Yeah, I know. I can't even keep up. Like, you're posting all the pictures of people that you're meeting and hanging out with, and it's like, who are all these awesome people that she's hanging out with? Because it's happening very quickly.
Yeah, it was great. Here just a few days. Are you familiar with the artist Ernest?
No.
He was on a song with Morgan Wallen called Flower Shop.
I think I've heard of that.
And he just followed me out of the blue here just a few days ago. And then I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. So it's crazy how things like that align, you know, and people end up finding you, you know.
So does a part of you ever feel like when that happens, like, hey, I wonder if they're going to hit me up or something to work together or something like that?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the thing that shocked me the most is after getting off The Voice, especially, I had more actors follow me, actors and actresses follow me than anything. I mean, Jennifer Coolidge followed me, and you know, just all these people that are, you know, not even a part of the music scene, but following me. It makes me feel very special. You know, that even people that aren't even in the same thing that I do appreciate it as well.
Another awesome thing that has happened recently, especially talking about like viral moments, you performed the national anthem at the Tennessee Titans game last season, and a lot of people say that it's one of the greatest versions of the national anthem they ever heard. So, how does that happen? How do you get to that point where you're singing in an NFL stadium in front of tens of thousands of people? Tell me more about that.
So that was a pretty cool moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do not watch sports, so I had no idea what was going on. But it was a very cool moment for me because that was my first time ever playing in a stadium. So yeah, that was absolutely amazing. To be there for the Tennessee Titans and have them reach out and want me to do it. It was pretty cool. I get out there and that was my first time actually breaking through and on the stadium side of things, and especially at a major sport event like that. You know, being a part of the NFL. You know, so it's pretty amazing to be asked to come from Missouri to sing for the Tennessee Titans in a town full of musicians. You know, that means a lot.
That's
So,
a good point.
exactly. That's it's something that I have to remind myself about. You know, and it was very cool. You know, I was very excited to be a part of that, and to do the national anthem in itself, because that is like the most nerve-wracking song to sing ever. And I mean, I've had a lot of people compare me to Whitney Houston on it, which is like, wow, you know, she's like the absolute greatest person I've ever heard sing it.
Yeah.
And so it's pretty crazy to not only be compared to Whitney Houston, but to even be able to be in that spot to do it. That meant a lot to me as well. So that was another big moment for me.
There's still a lot of people who enjoy tradition and traditional renditions of songs, and especially the national anthem. I think that resonated with a lot of people, that you didn't, you know, take liberties and try to show off your chops and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never liked it when people get up there and they try to just show off on a song, because the national anthem doesn't need all these runs and riffs to show off how great you can sing. It's a great song in itself, and you got to be a great singer from the beginning to even be able to do it properly in original. So I didn't want to have a Fergie moment, and I just kept it strictly original, because that's how I prefer to sing it, and I feel like that's the way that it should be sung. But I think right now that video's got like 3 million views. So that was pretty amazing too.
Oh, mind-blowing stuff. Well, I got to circle back to one last question. I posted on Facebook that we were chatting, and I reached out for any questions. And this was from a friend of mine named Austin. It's a two-parter. And he asked, what would your dream collab be? Who was the first artist you worked with that was like a pinch yourself moment because you couldn't believe it wasn't a dream?
I would say, I have two different answers for that. For the second part of the question on who was the pinch yourself moment, I would say that was singing with Mickey Gilley, because I looked up to him a lot, especially as a 9-year-old, and unfortunately he's passed away here a few years back. And he was really the first artist, major artist, to give me a chance, and he always gave me a spot to sing at his theater in Branson, and he really helped me out a lot. Gave me a place to sing anytime I was in town, and he treated me very, very well. And he believed in me, which was, that's the hardest thing to find, is someone that truly believes in you. And he believed in me from the beginning, before I even believed in myself, and he really gave me a platform to step onto and really reach out for my dreams. And I would say that would be the pinch me moment of working with someone. And for dream collab, there's so many artists I could name. I guess I technically kind of collab with Green Day, but to do like an official song or something together would be pretty amazing. Where someone like Ashley McBride or Taylor Childers or Billy Strings or, people like that would be absolutely amazing. Jason Isbell would be incredible. There's a lot of people I look up to, so really I'm open to collabing with anyone.
And with the kind of role that you're on, I think it's going to happen.
Well, I hope so. I'm praying for it.
Hey everybody, it's Jordan. I just wanted to invite you to check us out on Facebook. Like, follow, drop me a message. I just want to hear from you, so let's talk. I hope to talk to you soon. We need to talk about your singles that you've released recently. I got Please Come Home to Boston, Love's Like a Rose, and Smoke in the Mirror. That's the most recent one, right?
Yes, the first one I released was Love's Like a Rose, an original song that I wrote with Christopher Mark Gray out of Nashville. That was the first original one that I released. Then after that, I released I Want to Be a Cowboy Sweetheart, because I had so many people ask me to record that one, so I went ahead and did it. So that one was really cool. I think that one's got 500,000 views right now, or streams, which is pretty crazy. Then I released Please Come to Boston, which is a great Dave Logan song that I covered. And my most recent one that I released is called Smoke in the Mirror. That is another original. I wrote that when I was 13. And it's kind of a vulnerable song for me. It's about growing up. You don't realize the small changes, looking in the mirror every day until one day you look and you don't see the same person anymore. You look completely different. You're the same person, but you're different, and that's what I talk about in the song, because I know I've went through that. And writing it at 13, and especially looking back on it now, it makes even more sense for me now. But it's just something that I was going through, and I wanted to write a song about it, so I did. And I titled it I wasn't going to originally because I was kind of, I'm not going to say embarrassed about it, but I was just nervous to put it out. And eventually I did, and so now it's just out there in the public. So yeah, go and stream it.
Yes, for sure. I've wrote some original songs and it's been a long time, but it's hard to have the courage to put them out there, and especially with everybody being so critical nowadays. But I always had trouble with figuring out when a song is done. You know what I mean? Like before you record it and put it out. Like how do
Yeah.
you determine that an original song of yours is finished?
Well, I've never felt like any of my songs were finished. I feel like anyone that writes a song never thinks that their songs are completely done or perfect or as good as they can get. I've just kind of always felt like you can always do better. I here in 10 years from now, I may look at smoke in the mirror and be like, I could have wrote that a whole lot better. But at the time, it was great. And I don't think I'll look at it like that. I hope not. But yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of songs that you look at that you can change around, and I feel like there's never really a spot where you know that you're done. It's just kind of forcing yourself to put it out and seeing how it does.
I like that. That makes me feel better because it really hindered me over the years when it comes to writing stuff. But it could be compared to editing a conversation. Like you can just keep going and going and going, and then hopefully you have a significant other that's like, okay, hey, knock it off, you're done. Just be done and put it out.
Exactly, exactly.
Everybody check out rubyleeofficial.com, and she's all over YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. She's killing it. She's been on The Voice, first runner up, performing at the Grand Ole Opry, and you're hitting NFL games, singing the national anthem. You're on tour. I mean, you don't even have to try to find Ruby Leigh anymore. She will find you. So everybody make sure to give her a follow and a like and a comment and go check her out because she's coming to your area. Ruby, I know you're busy and I really appreciate you spending some time with me. And I'm very honored that you are the first guest I've had a second interview with for the podcast. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, there we go. I'm honored to be the second guest. There we go.
And I probably set the bar too high, but I appreciate it, and be safe out there on the road, and I really hope I can come catch you at a show really soon.
Absolutely. You better.
Thanks, Ruby. Take care.
Thank you. You too.